Most people stumble through their mornings in a haze of unconscious habits, allowing their thoughts to drift wherever circumstance and past conditioning may lead them. They arise as victims of yesterday's limitations, carrying forward the same tired beliefs that have kept them bound to mediocrity. But you, my dear friend, you have been awakened to a greater truth. You now understand that you are not at the mercy of circumstances, but rather the very creator of them through the magnificent power dwelling within your own consciousness. The first thing you must tell yourself each morning is this fundamental truth. I am the creator of my reality. Not I will become or I hope to be, but I am. This is not merely positive thinking or wishful hoping. This is the recognition of the divine creative power that operates through your very being every moment of every day. When you declare, I am the creator of my reality, you are acknowledging the God power within you, the same creative force that spoke the universe into existence. You must understand that your imagination is not some frivolous faculty for daydreaming and fantasy. Your imagination is the very workshop of creation itself. Every single thing you see in your physical world, every building, every invention, every work of art, every human achievement first existed as an imaginal act in someone's consciousness. The chair you sit upon, the clothes you wear, the home you live in, all were once merely imagined possibilities that someone dared to assume was real. When you truly grasp this principle, you realize that your morning thoughts are not casual mental wanderings, but powerful creative acts that set the tone and direction for your entire day. Every thought you think, every assumption you make about yourself and your world is a seed planted in the fertile soil of consciousness that will inevitably bear fruit in your experience. This brings us to the second vital truth you must affirm each morning. I assume the feeling of my wish fulfilled. This is perhaps the most revolutionary concept in all of human understanding, that you need not wait for circumstances to change before you can feel the joy, abundance, or love you desire. You can assume the feeling of already being what you want to be, already having what you want to have, right now in this very moment. Most people have this backwards. They believe they will feel successful when they achieve success, feel wealthy when they accumulate wealth, feel loved when someone loves them. But the awakened individual understands that feeling comes first, and the external manifestation follows as surely as night follows day. When you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled each morning, you are not pretending or engaging in self-deception. You are aligning yourself with the natural law of creation that governs all manifestation. Think of it this way. If you truly possess everything you desire, if you truly were everything you wish to be, what would be the feeling tone of your consciousness? What would be the natural state of your being if all your dreams were already realized? This is the feeling you must assume, not as something to be attained in the future, but as your present reality right now. When you assume this feeling consistently, your entire world begins to reorganize itself to match your inner conviction. People, circumstances, and opportunities will be mysteriously drawn to you. Doors that seem permanently closed will swing open. Solutions to problems will appear as if from nowhere. This is not magic or superstition. This is the natural operation of consciousness creating through the law of assumption. The third powerful declaration you must make each morning is this: my past does not determine my future. Oh, how liberating this truth is when you truly embrace it. So many people remain trapped in cycles of imitation because they believe their past experiences must continue to repeat in their future. They look at their current circumstances, their history of failures or disappointments, and conclude that this is simply how life is for them. But you must understand that your past exists nowhere except in your memory, and your future exists nowhere except in your imagination. The only moment of power you have is this eternal now, this present moment of consciousness, in which you can choose what to assume about yourself and your life. Your past has no power over you except the power you give it through your current thoughts and assumptions. Every morning is a clean slate, a fresh beginning, a new opportunity to write a completely different story with your life. The person you were yesterday, with all their limitations and failures, need not be the person you are today. You can literally become a new person by assuming a new concept of yourself and feeling it to be true. This does not mean denying what has happened in your past or engaging in wishful thinking. regardless of what has gone before. The man who assumes she is healthy despite a history of illness, the woman who assumes she is prosperous despite a background of poverty, the person who assumes they are loved despite a past of rejection. These individuals are operating according to the highest spiritual law, and will see their assumptions manifest in their experience. Your past is not your prison. It is simply the evidence of your former states of consciousness. And since consciousness can be changed in an instant, your future can be completely different from your past, starting right now, this very morning, with the assumptions you choose to make about yourself and your life. The fourth essential truth to embrace each morning is, I am exactly where I need to be for my highest good. This statement might seem contradictory if you find yourself in circumstances that appear undesirable, but it contains a profound wisdom that will transform your relationship with your current reality. You see, every experience in your life, pleasant or unpleasant, is serving a divine purpose in your spiritual awakening and growth. The challenges you face are not punishments or evidence of your failure. They are opportunities for you to discover the creative power within yourself. Your current circumstances, no matter how limiting they may appear, are the perfect starting point for demonstrating the truth of these principles. When you accept where you are without resistance or self-condemnation, you free up enormous creative energy that was previously bound up in fighting against your reality. Resistance to what is creates more of what you don't want. Acceptance of what is, combined with the assumption of what you desire, creates the space for miraculous transformation. This does not mean becoming passive or resigned to unwanted conditions. It means recognizing that your current circumstances are the raw material from which you will create your new reality. Every successful person started exactly where they were, with whatever they had, and used the power of their imagination to transcend their limitations. When you tell yourself each morning that you are exactly where you need to be, you are acknowledging the perfect intelligence that governs your life's unfoldment. You are expressing faith in the divine order that is always working for your highest good, even when you cannot see the bigger picture. This attitude of acceptance and trust opens you to receive inspiration, guidance, and opportunities that your resistant, complaining consciousness would have missed entirely. From this place of acceptance, you can then move into assumption, feeling yourself to be what you want to be, and trusting that your external world will conform to your inner conviction. This is the balanced approach, accepting what is while assuming what you desire, that allows for effortless transformation. The fifth and final truth you must declare each morning is perhaps the most important of all. I choose love over fear in every moment. Fear is the great enemy of all human achievement and happiness. Fear keeps you small, keeps you stuck, keeps you believing in limitation rather than possibility. Fear tells you that you are not worthy of your dreams, that change is dangerous, that you must protect yourself from a hostile world. But love, love is the creative power of the universe itself. Love is the force that draws your good to you, that opens hearts and minds, that dissolves obstacles and creates miracles. When you choose love over fear, you align yourself with the very essence of creation itself. You become a channel for divine power to flow through you and transform not only your own life, but the lives of everyone you touch. Choosing love over fear means approaching your day with confidence rather than anxiety, with gratitude rather than complaint, with expectation of good rather than anticipation of problems. It means seeing the divine in every person you encounter, the opportunity in every challenge you face, the blessing in every experience that comes your way. Fear would have you believe that you must struggle and strive and compete with others for the good things of life. But love reveals to you that the universe is abundant beyond measure, that there is more than enough good for everyone, that your success contributes to rather than detracts from the success of others. When you operate from love, you become magnetic to all the good things you desire, because you are vibrating in harmony with the creative principle itself. Each morning, as you make this choice for love over fear, you are literally choosing the consciousness through which you will experience your day? Will you see through the eyes of imitation or through the eyes of possibility? Will you react from old patterns of defensiveness and scarcity, or will you respond from the awakened awareness of your divine nature and infinite potential? Now, my friends, let me share with you how these 5 truths work together to create the foundation for a truly magnificent life. When you declare each morning that you are the creator of your reality, you are taking full responsibility for your experience. You are stepping out of victim consciousness and into creator consciousness. You are acknowledging that whatever you have experienced up to this point was created by your former states of awareness, and whatever you will experience from this point forward will be created by your current and future states of consciousness. This recognition naturally leads you to the second truth, assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Since you are the creator, you have the power to feel however you choose to feel, regardless of current circumstances. You can feel prosperous in the midst of apparent lack, feel healthy in the presence of symptoms, feel loved even when alone, because you understand that your feelings create your reality rather than the other way around. The third truth, that your past does not determine your future, frees you from the bondage of history and conditioning. You realize that every moment is a fresh opportunity to choose a new assumption about yourself and your life. You are not condemned to repeat the patterns of yesterday, because you have the power to create something entirely new starting right now. The fourth truth, that you are exactly where you need to be, brings peace to your present moment and allows you to move forward without the resistance that would slow down your progress. From a place of acceptance, you can assume your new state more easily because you are not wasting energy fighting against what is. And the fifth truth, choosing love over fear, ensures that you approach your creative work from the highest and most powerful consciousness available to human beings. Love is the atmosphere in which miracles flourish, in which the impossible becomes possible, in which dreams take form in the world of experience. These 5 declarations are not mere words to be repeated mechanically each morning. They are living truths to be felt, experienced, and embodied. They are states of consciousness to be entered into and lived. When you truly embrace these truths, your entire life becomes a demonstration of the creative power of consciousness. Let me tell you about the practical transformation that occurs when you begin each day with these 5 affirmations of truths. Your morning routine becomes a sacred ritual of creation rather than a mechanical preparation for another day of limitation. Instead of checking your phone immediately upon waking and filling your consciousness with the opinions and dramas of others, you take a few precious moments to align yourself with the infinite creative power within you. As you declare yourself to be the creator of your reality, you feel a shift in your entire being. No longer are you at the mercy of circumstances, waiting to see what life will bring you. Instead, you are consciously choosing what to create, what to experience, what to manifest through the power of your assumptions and feelings. When you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, your whole nervous system begins to vibrate at the frequency of your desired reality. Your body, your energy, your very presence begins to broadcast the signal of what you have assumed to be true about yourself. This shift in your vibration immediately begins to attract people, circumstances, and opportunities that match your new assumption. As you release the grip of your past and open to a new future, you feel the exhilarating freedom of infinite possibility. The weight of old failures, disappointments, and limitations begins to lift from your shoulders. You realize that you are not condemned to repeat history, but are free to write a completely new story with your life. Accepting where you are while assuming where you are going creates a beautiful paradox of being at peace with what is while being excited about what is becoming. This balanced state of consciousness is tremendously powerful because it contains no internal conflict, no resistance to slow down the manifestation of your desires. And when you choose love over fear, you literally become a different person, someone who attracts love rather than conflict, opportunity rather than obstacles, abundance rather than lack. People sense this change in you even if they cannot explain it. You become magnetic to your good because you are operating from the highest creative principle in the universe. But the true magic happens, not just in your morning declarations, but in how these truths transform your entire approach to living. Throughout your day, when challenges arise, you remember that you are the creator and ask yourself what assumption you want to make about this situation. Instead of reacting from old patterns of fear or victimhood, you consciously choose to assume something wonderful is happening, even if you cannot yet see how. When opportunities present themselves, you are ready to receive them because you have been assuming the feeling of already having what you desire. Your consciousness is prepared for good things to happen because you have been living in the state of expectation and gratitude rather than doubt and worry. When people treat you in ways that formerly would have upset you, you remember that everyone is yourself pushed out, that all your experiences with others are reflections of your own states of consciousness. Instead of trying to change them, you change your assumptions about them, and miraculously they begin to show up differently in your experience. This is a great secret that mystics and sages have taught throughout the ages, that consciousness is the only reality and all else is its manifestation. What appears to be a physical world operating according to mechanical laws is actually a world of mind, a world of consciousness, a world where thoughts and assumptions become things instead of experiences. When you truly understand this principle, you realize that every morning you wake up in a world of infinite malleability, infinite possibility, infinite potential for transformation. The same consciousness that created the world you went to sleep in can create an entirely different world for you to wake up in, depending upon the assumptions you make and the feelings you cultivate. This is why your morning consciousness is so crucial. The assumptions you make as you transition from sleep to waking, the feelings you choose to embody as you begin your day, the declarations you make about yourself and your life, these are not idle thoughts, but powerful creative acts that set to your entire day's experience. Many people wonder why their lives seem to follow the same repetitive patterns day after day, year after year. The answer is that they wake up each morning and unconsciously assume the same things about themselves and their world that they assumed the day before and the day before that. They feel the same feelings, think the same thoughts, make the same assumptions, and therefore create the same experiences. But when you consciously choose to begin each day with these fundamental truths, you are breaking the cycle of unconscious creation and stepping into deliberate manifestation. You are taking control of the creative process and using it to shape your life according to your highest vision rather than your lowest fears. The first truth, I am the creator of my reality, establishes your divine authority over your experience. You are not a victim of genetic circumstances, other people's opinions, economic conditions, or any other external factors. You are the conscious creator of your world through the assumptions you make and maintain about yourself and your life. The second truth, I assume the feeling of my wish fulfilled, gives you the practical method for creation. Instead of trying to create through action alone, you create through consciousness first. You feel your way into your desired reality, and then the actions, opportunities, and circumstances arrange themselves to match your inner conviction. The third truth, my past does not determine my future, liberates you from the tyranny of history. You are not bound by what has been, but are free to create what can be through the power of your present consciousness. Every moment is a new beginning when you understand this principle. The fourth truth, I am exactly where I need to be, brings you into harmony with the perfect intelligence that governs your life's unfoldment. From this place of trust and acceptance, you can move forward with confidence, knowing that everything is working together for your highest good. The fifth truth, I choose love over fear, aligns you with the creative power of the universe itself. Love is the attracting power that draws your good to you, the dissolving power that melts away obstacles, the transforming power that turns water into wine in your experience. These 5 truths, when genuinely embraced and lived from each morning, create what we might call a consciousness of inevitability around your desires. You no longer hope your dreams might come true. You know they must come true because you understand the law by which all things are created. You are no longer trying to make things happen through struggle and effort. You are allowing things to happen through assumption and feeling. This shift from trying to make something happen to knowing it must happen is one of the most profound transformations a human being can experience. It moves you out of the anxiety and strain of attempting to control external circumstances and into the peace and power of controlling your internal state of consciousness. When you control your consciousness, you control your world. When you master your assumptions, you master your experiences. When you govern your feelings, you govern your reality. This is not mystical mumbo jumbo, but the practical application of the deepest spiritual principles known to humanity. Every great achievement in human history has come through someone who understood, consciously or unconsciously, that they must first become in consciousness what they wish to be in manifestation. Every inventor, every artist, every leader, every person who has ever made significant contribution with civilization first imagined themselves to be what they eventually became. The difference is that most people stumble upon this principle accidentally and apply it inconsistently. But you, my friend, you now have the conscious knowledge of how this law operates and can apply it deliberately and systematically to create whatever kind of life you truly desire. Your morning declarations are not just positive thinking or self-help techniques. They are the practical application of the creative law of consciousness. They are your daily appointment with the infinite creative power that dwells within you, your opportunity to consciously guide that power toward the manifestation of your highest vision for your life. As you make these declarations each morning with genuine feeling and conviction, you will begin to notice subtle but significant changes in your experience. Opportunities will present themselves more frequently. People will respond to you more positively. Solutions to problems will appear more readily. Coincidences and synchronicities will increase in your life. These are not accidents or random good luck. They are the natural results of aligning your consciousness with the creative principle of the universe. When you assume you are the creator rather than the victim, when you feel your wishes to be already fulfilled rather than desperately needed, when you release the limitations of your past rather than carrying them forward, when you accept your present while assuming your ideal, when you choose love rather than fear, you become a magnet for miracles. The person who understands these principles and applies them consistently becomes what we might call a deliberate creator rather than an unconscious victim of circumstances. They wake up each morning not wondering what life will bring them, but consciously choosing what they will create through the power of their assumptions and feelings. This is the great gift that has been given to humanity, the ability to consciously participate in the creative process of the universe through magnificent power of imagination. You need not wait for circumstances to improve, for other people to change, for conditions to become favorable. You can begin right now, this very morning, to create the life you truly desire by embracing these 5 fundamental truths and living from them consistently. Remember, my friends, that every morning is a new beginning. Every day is a fresh opportunity. Every moment is a chance to choose again what you will assume about yourself and your world. You are not condemned to repeat the patterns of yesterday unless you choose to do so through unconscious assumption. You have the power to break free from any limitation, to transcend any circumstance, to create any reality you can imagine and feel to be true. The 5 things you tell yourself each morning: that you are the creator of your reality, that you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, that your past does not determine your future, that you are exactly where you need to be, and that you choose love over fear. These are not mere words, but keys to the kingdom of heaven that lies within your own consciousness. Use these keys each morning to unlock the door to infinite possibility. Step through that door into a world where dreams come true, where miracles are natural, where love abounds, where abundance flows, where health and happiness are your natural state. This world exists within your own consciousness, waiting for you to assume it to be true and feel it to be real. Your life is your masterpiece. Your consciousness is your paintbrush. And these 5 truths are your palette of colors with which to create whatever reality your heart desires. Begin each day with these declarations, feel them deeply, live from them consistently, and watch as your world transforms before your very eyes into a reflection of the beauty, love, and abundance that has always existed within your own wonderful human imagination. For those who understand the law of assumption, you recognize that everything in your world, every circumstance, every person, every opportunity is arranged by your own wonderful human imagination. And your presence here now is evidence that you have already begun to awaken to your divine nature, to your God self. Let me tell you something marvelous. Your consciousness is God, not a part of God, not a tiny fragment of divine energy, but God in entirety expressing as you. I and my Father are one, but man has yet to discover this greatest of all truths. You wear the mask of a particular personality with specific limitations and problems, but behind that mask is the limitless I am. The I am that speaks through your thoughts and feelings is the same I am that brought forth all of creation. When you say I am, you are announcing the presence of God, for that is his name forever and ever. And whatever you attach to those powerful words becomes your reality. Now, many of you have studied various metaphysical teachings, you read books, attended seminars, practiced techniques. Yet you still find yourself waiting for your desires to manifest, wondering if perhaps you're doing something wrong. Let me assure you, the only thing standing between you and your desire made manifest is your concept of time and your belief in process. In the realm of spirit, where all creation truly takes place, there is no time. There is only the eternal now. In that now, everything you could ever desire already exists. It is finished, complete. Your job is not to create your desire new, but rather to enter the state where your desire is fulfilled, to live from the end. When you imagine yourself in possession of your desire, feeling the naturalness of having it, enjoying it, experiencing it as real, you are literally entering that state in consciousness. And since consciousness is the only reality, what you have assumed in consciousness must objectify itself in your world. It has no choice, for that is law. As within, so without. Your outer world is nothing more than the objectification of your inner assumptions. Every person, every circumstance in your life is there because somewhere in consciousness you have assumed it to be so. This is not to place blame, but to awaken you to your incredible power. Imagine for a moment that you are in a dark room, and within this room are infinite rooms, each one containing a different state of being. One room contains wealth beyond measure. Another contains perfect health. Another contains a loving relationship. Every desire you could possibly imagine exists in its fulfilled state in one of these rooms. Now, you cannot see these different rooms because of the darkness, but you can feel your way around. How do you know when you've entered a particular room? By the feeling it evokes within you. If you've entered the room of wealth, you feel the distinctive feeling of being wealthy. If you've entered the room of health, you feel the unmistakable feeling of vitality coursing through your veins. Your emotional reactions, your feelings, are the currency of manifestation. When you can genuinely feel wealthy before the money appears in your bank account, when you can feel love before the specific person enters your life, when you can feel successful before the outer signs appear, then you have mastered the art of manifestation. But most of humanity lives in reverse. They wait to feel wealthy until they see money. They wait to feel loved until someone shows them love. They wait to feel successful until they achieve outer success. And because of this, they remain stuck, waiting for circumstances to change so they can finally feel what they desire to feel. I am telling you now, reverse the process. Feel first, and the outer manifestation must follow as a natural consequence. This is the meaning behind faith, is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Faith is not a wishy-washy hope that things might improve someday. Faith is the actual substance, the actual feeling of your desire fulfilled now. Consider the story in Scripture where Jesus cursed the fig tree, and the next day the disciples marveled that it had withered away. Jesus told them, "Have faith in God. For verily I say unto you, that whosoever shall say unto this mountain, Be thou removed, and be thou cast into the sea, and shall not doubt in his heart, but shall believe that those things which he saith shall come to pass, he shall have whatsoever he saith." What was Jesus revealing here? The secret of manifestation. When you speak to your mountain, your problem, your challenge, your unfulfilled desire, you must speak with absolute conviction, not hoping, not wishing, but knowing with such certainty that doubt finds no place to root in your consciousness. This absolute knowing comes from having already experienced the end in imagination. When you have lived the experience so vividly in imagination that it feels more real than your present physical circumstances, then you have planted the seed that must grow into manifestation. Now let's address something that keeps many spiritual seekers trapped: the constant search for the perfect technique. You may have tried affirmations, visualization, scripting, acting as if, and countless other methods. And while these can be valuable tools, they are just that, tools. They are means to an end, and that end is the state of consciousness where your desire is already fulfilled. The techniques themselves have no power. The power lies in your consciousness, in your ability to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. If a technique helps you capture that feeling more effectively, then by all means use it. But never mistake the technique for the real work, which is the assumption of the state. Every day, countless people repeat affirmations without feeling, visualize without conviction, and act as if while still believing they're pretending. This divided mind, this attempt to serve two masters, keeps their desires at bay. Choose this day whom you will serve, your present circumstances or your desired state. You cannot serve both. When you truly understand the law of assumption, you realize that what appears as reality is actually just a shadow, a reflection of past assumptions. It has no power to create your future unless you continue to give it power through your attention and belief. Your current circumstances, no matter how convincing they may seem, are nothing more than echoes of past thoughts. The outer world is dead. It has no life of its own. The only thing that is truly alive is your consciousness, your awareness. And within that consciousness, you have the power to assume any state whatsoever. As you persist in that assumption, the outer world must reshape itself to match your inner conviction. Think of it like this: your consciousness is like a projector, and the screen is your three-dimensional reality. Whatever film you run through the projector will appear on the screen. If you don't like what you see on the screen, there's no use in trying to change the screen directly. You must change the film, the content of your consciousness. Let's go deeper now. Many of you have heard that thoughts create reality, and while there's truth in this statement, it's not quite accurate. It's not your thoughts that create reality, it's the state from which those thoughts flow. A state is a complete package of thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and assumptions that together form a cohesive experience of being. For instance, the state of being wealthy includes not just thoughts about money, but also how you feel about yourself, how you perceive opportunities, how you interact with others, how you make decisions. When you enter the state of wealth consciousness, all these aspects align naturally. You don't have to force positive thoughts about money. They arise spontaneously from the state. This is why simply trying to think positive thoughts while remaining in a state of lack is so difficult and ultimately ineffective. You're trying to produce thoughts that are inconsistent with your state. Instead, change the state, and the thoughts will follow automatically. How do you change your state? Through the controlled use of your imagination. Your imagination is the bridge between your current state and the desired state. When you enter imagination with clear intention, you temporarily leave behind your current state and experience the desired state directly. With persistent use of imagination, you gradually shift your primary state of consciousness until you naturally dwell in the state of your fulfilled desire. This is not pretending or fooling yourself. This is awakening to different aspects of the infinite being that you truly are. Remember, all states already exist. You're not creating the state of wealth or the state of health or the state of love. These states are eternal aspects of consciousness, available to anyone who can assume them. Your work is to select the state you prefer and occupy it through the power of assumption. Now, some of you may be wondering if it's this simple. Why haven't I manifested my desires yet? The answer is found in two places: persistence and immediacy. Most people do not persist in their assumption long enough for it to become their dominant state. They imagine their desire fulfilled today, but tomorrow they're back to worrying about their problems. They affirm their wealth in the morning, but spend the afternoon complaining about bills. This vacillation between states prevents any one state from fully expressing itself in reality. The solution is to persist, not with strain or effort, but with the calm knowing that what you have experienced in imagination is more real and more substantial than temporary physical circumstances. Physical reality is fluid, constantly changing to reflect your dominant state. If you persist in the assumption of your desire fulfilled, physical reality has no choice but to conform. The second factor is immediacy. Many believe that after they imagine their desire fulfilled, there must be a waiting period, a gestation period before manifestation can occur. But this is a misunderstanding of the law. In consciousness, there is no time. The moment you truly enter the state of your wish fulfilled, the outer circumstances begin reorganizing themselves to match that inner reality. What appears as delay is actually the time it takes for you to fully enter and occupy the desired state. Once you are truly in the state, manifestation is instantaneous. What you're waiting for is not the universe to catch up with your desire, but for you to catch up with a version of yourself who already has what you want. This brings us to another crucial point: your identity. Who do you believe yourself to be? This self-concept acts as a thermostat, regulating what manifestations are allowed into your experience. If you see yourself as someone who struggles with money, then even if you temporarily manifest some wealth, your self-concept will eventually bring you back to financial struggle. To create lasting change, you must revise your self-concept. You must see yourself as the person who naturally experiences what you desire. Not someone who is trying to get something, but someone who already has it as a natural expression of who they are. This identity shift happens from within. It's not about changing your behavior to match some external ideal. It's about recognizing that you are already that which you desire to be, and then allowing your outer behavior to naturally align with this inner knowing. I want to address a common misconception now. Many spiritual teachers speak of letting go or detachment from your desires as a necessary step for manifestation. And while there's wisdom in this teaching, it's often misunderstood. True detachment is not about caring less about your desire. It's about detaching from the need for your desire to manifest in a particular way or time frame. It's about detaching from the anxiety and doubt that come from living in lack. When you have truly assumed the state of your wish fulfilled, you are naturally detached, because in your consciousness, you already have what you desire. There's nothing to be anxious about. Think of it this way: are you anxious about receiving your next breath? Of course not. You breathe without thought or concern because you know the air is there for you. This is the kind of naturalness you want to cultivate regarding your desires, not indifference, but absolute trust. Another misunderstanding revolves around action. Some interpret the law of assumption to mean that physical action is unnecessary. If it's all about consciousness, they reason, then I don't need to do anything. This misses the point entirely. Action will always be part of the manifestation process, but when you're operating from the correct state of consciousness, the actions you take will be inspired and effortless. They will feel like the natural next step rather than forced effort. You won't be acting to get your desire. You'll be acting from the state of already having it. Imagine a wealthy person. They take actions consistent with wealth. They invest, they make purchases, they create new ventures. These actions flow naturally from their state of wealth consciousness. They don't strain or struggle with these actions because they align with their self-concept. When you assume the state of your wish fulfilled, you will find yourself naturally taking actions that align with that state. And these actions will be far more effective than actions taken from a state of lack, because they carry a different energy and intention. Now, I want to speak specifically about the timing of this message finding you. As I said at the beginning, it is no coincidence that you are hearing these words now. Your consciousness drawn this message to you because you are ready for the next step in your awakening. Many of you have been feeling a stirring lately, a sense that something significant is about to shift in your life. You've been experiencing synchronicities, meaningful coincidences that seem to be guiding you towards something. This message is part of that guidance. The universe, which is really your own expanded consciousness, has arranged for you to receive this confirmation now, because you have been asking for clarity. You have been asking for a sign that you're on the right path, that your desires are valid and possible for you. Consider this your sign. Consider this your confirmation. The very fact that these words are resonating with something deep within you is evidence that you are ready to step more fully into your manifesting power. Now let me address something that may have been troubling some of you. You may have had experiences where you applied these principles, assumed your desire was fulfilled, and yet nothing seemed to happen. Or worse, the opposite of what you wanted appeared in your life. First, understand that this is not evidence that the law doesn't work. The law is operating perfectly at all times. What these experiences reveal is that there was something in your consciousness that you were unaware of, a contradictory belief, a fear, or an attachment to your current circumstance.
And I need somebody, baby daddy.
No.
I need somebody, baby daddy. Two niggas. I need somebody, baby daddy. You gay ass niggas. He high. He all these gay ass man. Get off our block with this gay ass shit. I need somebody, baby daddy.
Hell no. What the man?
That was stronger than your assumption of the new state. This is actually good news, because it means that as you become more aware of these contradictions in consciousness, you can address them directly. You can revise them, release them, and create more internal congruence. One powerful way to identify these contradictions is to pay attention to your natural thoughts and feelings